Hey, I'm Danny with Metro Water Filter of the South, and today we're going to do a tutorial servicing of an acid neutralizer. Items you'll need to service your acid neutralizer: a large bucket, a 10-foot siphon hose, paper towels or something to help keep the water off the floor, a measuring tape, a flashlight to identify the filter media level on our opaque tanks, a screwdriver in case you can't get the plug out with your hands, a funnel, and of course, our iron reduction acid neutralizer to add. And you can always call us or you can order it online at metrowaterfilter.com. To begin servicing your acid neutralizer with an SXT control valve, cut the water supply off to the unit so we're able to depressurize it to access this access point. So the first thing, we're going to bypass the unit. We're going to pull the lever to its bypass position. That's going to cut the water supply off. We're going to then go to the second step, and this is the most critical step, and that is depressurizing the unit by coming to our extra cycle button, and we're going to push this in and hold it in for 5 long seconds. And by doing so, we're going to depressurize this. You're actually going to probably hear the filter release the water pressure through its discharge line. The other way that you'll know is you're going to see the faucet icon disappear, and you're going to see the letters BW appear. That stands for backwash. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the pressure off the unit so you then can access this plug. So we're going to give this just a minute as it's working. You want to wait till you see the clock counting down, which tells you that the filter's in that position, ready for us to pull the plug. While that's doing that, you're probably going to want to get you some shop towels or get a regular towel. Don't get the nice towels. Make sure you get something like this. And then all you're going to do is be sure, because when you open this plug, you're going to get a little bit of water coming out. So some people will take a shop vac. Some people will just simply let the water go on the floor. But what I would suggest, just grab something that's going to catch some water. Now on this access plug, particular one has a couple of ears, and it's designed to be used by your hands. Circumstances, do you put a tool or a wrench on this? These little ears will snap off. If it appears that it's not going to turn easily, then what I want you to do is get a flathead screwdriver, preferably the biggest one you can get. And if you look at the center of the cap, you're going to see a slot in there that's going to allow you to put the cap, and then I can simply turn it and it's going to pop right out. And then I can simply lift out the plug. Now this unit doesn't have any water on it, but if it did, when you got ready to open this plug, you're going to get a little bit of water coming out because of the gravity. You can simply put the rag over your hole here to keep the water from going down. Then the next thing you're going to do is get you a really nice siphon hose. Now this is a big one because it really pulls the water down quickly. But even a small hose you can purchase at the hardware store will work. But I use a 10-foot hose. And then all you're going to do is you're going to push this down into the filter. You're going to also acquire a large bucket. And then you're going to create a siphon, and you're going to put about a gallon or so of water in this bucket. And the goal is to pull the water down so that when we get ready to add our filter media to the tank, we're not displacing all this water. We've got to remove it so that we can get that media in there. So you're going to remove some of that out. Sometimes I like to do is run it down till I just barely hit the top of the bed, because it's going to pick up a little bit of debris and you're going to kind of see what your well's producing. So you'll see some of that discoloration, those deposits come out. But once you've pulled out about a gallon or so, you're going to then take your measuring tape, and this is going to measure your bed. Now on an acid neutralizer, our media bed, when it's full, we want this to be at 18 inches from the bottom of our plug here. So if I take my measuring tape and I measure down, you'll see I'm exactly 18 inches from the bottom of the dome hole. This is considered the full level. We really don't want to fill this level much higher than 18 inches because when this unit backwashes, it expands the bed and it lifts it up. And we don't want that media to ever interfere with this control valve. It will damage it. So we have a safe level of 18 inches. Now, how do we know when we need to add? Well, for every 3 inches your media bed goes down, we want to add a gallon of the acid neutralizer. So if it's down 3 inches, you'll add a gallon. If it's down 6, you'll add 2. If it's down 9, you'll add 3. If you're somewhere in between, just go ahead and add the full gallon. Always add a little more when you're adding the filter media. It's not going to hurt it if it's an inch or so above the 18, but this is where we want to generally keep our filter media. We don't want it to get too low. So the question is, well, how low can I let this go? Well, it's all about retention. So as water flows through the filter media, we're getting a chemical reaction. If we don't get enough time, some of that water will not chemically react and it'll simply come through unchanged. With an acid neutralizer, this is important because we want to get the pH up. If we let the bed go down too low, what will happen is our regular pH levels will begin to drop because we're losing the chemical reaction. So we'll end up getting more acidic with the water, and you may end up getting some of your symptoms returning as far as how the acid's reacting with the metals in your house. So I would say you could let this go down anywhere from 3 to 6 to 9 inches. We start getting a foot or more, you might start experiencing some problems. It really depends on how acidic your water is, and also depends on how high a flow rate you're running through that particular unit. So let's try to achieve an 18-inch level always, and we usually recommend this to be checked about every 6 months. If it's less than 4 people, if it's just 2 of you, you might be able to get away with checking it once a year. But if you check with us, you call us, we can put you on a 6-month service program where we'll come out and we can take care of this for you if you prefer. But 18 inches is our full. So once we've determined how much filter media we need to add that to this access plug. So our next step is we're going to get a funnel, and this is very important to use a funnel when applying your filter media, because inside there are grooves for this plug to fit that has 2 O-rings. If any material were to get in there, this isn't going to seat properly and you're going to end up with a leak. The other problem is you can damage these O-rings, and now your DIY project now becomes having to send a technician out to fix your problem. So just be sure, real cheap to use, to purchase, hardware store, automotive store, get you a funnel. You're gonna place this in here, make sure that the throat of the funnel goes all the way through so that there's no exposure of the filter media to get on those contacts. Here is the product. Iron reduction acid neutralizer. We have these in 1-gallon jugs, which will raise the bed every 3 inches. So it helps you to measure how much to add. And you're just gonna simply open, and you're gonna take this material, which is granulated sand material, and you're gonna just pour it in there. It is that simple. You just pour it in there. Once you've added the amount of filter media where you believe you've got it at the 18 inches, all you have to do is once you pour it, if you've not measured, you can simply go back, light it up, go back, see where you've poured it, take your measurement, and just be sure you're at the 18 inches. So the next step's gonna be to get your plug. Again, now these already come pre-lubed. You wanna make sure that if there's any debris on here, or if they're dry, you wanna get a silicone lubricant, not petroleum jelly. No petroleum-based lubricants will work. It will damage the O-rings, it'll cause them to swell, and you're gonna have a leak. So only use a silicone-based lubricant on your O-rings. And you always wanna reapply, especially if you've had to clean it off due to debris, due to the deposits, or if there's just simply dry. You'll simply put it back in. There are white indicator marks on this plug, And if it's easy enough, you can just take it, turn it, make sure that our white marks are all lined up. That's in our safe position. And then the next step, you're going to open the bypass valve and you're going to open it all the way back to the in-service position. At this time, you're going to actually hear water filling the tank. You might even see your dome hole plug actually expand a little bit, and that's going to be normal. Don't be frightened. It's going to pop out as a projectile. But what this is going to do, it's going to seat it under pressure, and that's how it holds it in place. So if you ever have trouble trying to get this off and it just simply will not even turn with a screwdriver in here, be sure, double check, did I put it in backwash? Did I go through the depressurization process of bypassing the unit and making sure it was in a bypass position? So once this is in, you want to go ahead and advance the filter into the next step, which is the rapid rinse. You can, if it's there already, leave it. If not, use this extra cycle button to advance it. And what this is going to do, it's going to rinse the new media that you've applied. Because this looks like white sand, it's got fines in it. And when the water flows through that media bed, it's going to pick up those fines, dissolve it in the water. In this case, because this is white, it's going to make your water look like milk. What we want to do is let the filter discharge those fines out the drain, removing all that discoloration. We don't want the wife thinking she's got milk coming out of her faucet. Let's be sure that the water's crystal clear, like it was before we started this process. So let it rinse through. They typically run for about 10 minutes. You can walk away. You're done. No more. But if you want to come back down in 10 minutes or so and just double check, make sure we have the faucet icon, which is our service icon. We got the correct time of day and we have no leaks. Then you're in great shape. And it's always safe. Any questions, don't hesitate to call. It's free information. I hope this video has been helpful. And if it has, please like and subscribe down below. And if you have any questions, you can reach us at 888-604-8043 or reach us out on the web at metrowaterfilter.com. And always remember, it's of the South.